Oh, I'm live. Nobody will be watching, so never mind. I'm sitting here in the GRMN basically doing a software update, and quite frankly, I've got nothing better to do with my time. So I thought that in the Hubnut styly, I would, and some appalling lighting, I would have a quick run through of how the GRMN is really. It got its first service the other day, a little bit earlier, 11,300 miles. So it's meant to be a 12,500 mile service interval. So it was a bit early because I'm off to, I'm away basically over Christmas and New Year, and it wasn't going to happen then. And by the time I get back, I'm going to be probably about 1,000 miles over. So I wanted to just make sure it was done timiously. What else? It's a cracking wee car. I'm always slightly nervous about waffling on too much about it, in case I am even more boring than I actually am in real life. On that topic, it's fast. It's moderately economical. I mean, you can sort of 35-ish is about right. You can hear I'm sitting here with the engine on. That's its sort of quiet, growly, now that it's warmed up, tick over. It's fast, it's relatively economical, it's incredibly comfortable. It's got these you can't see them in the darkness here. It's got these really comfortable Toyota Bushoku seats. It's finished in ultra suede, you know, but they are really cozy and nice and warm on cold winter days and stuff. The reason I'm sitting here, I never intended on doing this, there's absolutely no thought gone into it whatsoever, is because I'm updating the sat nav. I'm updating the maps, I'm updating the firmware as well. And to do that, you have to sit in the, well, you don't have to sit in the car, but I prefer to sit in the car with the engine running whilst it uploads stuff from a memory stick, and yeah, is incredibly slow about it. So it whizzed up to 80%, and this second last of 7 packages is taking an absolute age. So nothing better to do, so I thought I'd just sit here and waffle on YouTube. Where was I? Oh yes, it's comfortable, it's relatively economical, it's small, it fits luggage in the back. A person has sat in the back once in the past, when did I get it? In March. So in the past 9 months, 8 months, almost 9 months, it's had someone in the back once, which is about right for my cars. Really, the back seat is just the back seat is really just a fancy sound deadening for that exhaust, which you can probably hear in the background. What else? I just think it's great. I mean, it really is a fantastic wee car. I keep getting sort of stopped and asked about it in supermarket car parks, petrol stations, all these kind of things. If people know what it is, they're normally interested, and normally in a positive way. Otherwise, it's just a Yaris with some nasty stickers in some people's eyes. I love them. I think they're great. I'm really glad, because, you know, the only option I got was stickers on or stickers off, and I went for stickers on. One person I think went for stickers off. Somebody else bought one from a showroom, so one of the ones that hadn't been pre-ordered, or the pre-order got cancelled, and they ended up with the red sticker on the front and then not on the sides or the bonnet. The problem there is, of course, even with the stickers, is that people just see it in their rearview mirror and think Yaris, and as a result, they tend to go, oh well, it's just a Yaris, I'm not letting it past. It's never going to go as quickly as my Audi. And that's not necessarily the case. What else? Oh, good, it's progressing. Yeah, so that can actually be a bit of a challenge, the just a Yaris sort of look from the front. So despite the fact that it's deeper and darker and everything, that's a little bit too much detail for most people straight away. One of the things I complained about lots when I first got it was actually the stereo and the sat nav. I have come to terms with it, I think, is the best description, best explanation. I'm become a little bit of a whiz at using the navigation system. And I can get it to kind of go where I want it to go and where I feel I need it to go. Oh, that's much better from that angle, isn't it? Yeah. So I can get it to do what I want. I can make the appropriate tweaks that I sometimes want en route and things. So I don't complain about it so much. I still wish I could get to podcasts more easily. I wish I could get to playlists on my phone more easily. As it is, you've got to keep going. There's about 4 menus to get through to select a playlist as well. So something like CarPlay or Android Auto would be fantastic in there. Not to be, I'm afraid. But yeah, I've actually got used to the Touch 2. The Touch 2 system in here, and the real secret, if you do have one of these cars or you do have a related car, is to make sure that you've registered for a My Toyota account online and that the system is using your phone data for the traffic updates. That's the biggest single improvement you can make to how that system works, because if you're just using the TMC traffic data, it's rubbish. Frankly, the data is so out of date and so minimal that it's of no real use when it comes to calculating which route you should take and how long the delays are going to be as well. Even as it is with the internet data, it can be a little bit slow. I'm sure sometimes it's taken me extra miles for no particular reason. And that quite often I make decisions based on what it's showing me that take me extra miles for no particular reason. And then sometimes you have nights like the other night where you just sit in traffic on the A34 when it says it's clear. So I know that's still a little bit annoying. Other than that, I've kind of got there. I wouldn't mind a bit more bass actually. It sort of bugs me like the Johnny the Yaris with the kind of standard 2001 stereo plus the aftermarket Toyota branded subwoofer that they sold actually has a better stereo than this one. It's a bit annoying really in there. What else is there? Everything else just kind of works and it's just kind of Toyota and it's not really an issue. So yeah, I mean this is kind of the most annoying thing, is sitting waiting for this stuff to update. There is one other thing on this car. First to second in my gearbox is a bit icky. It can be a little bit sticky at times. But I think that's me. Everybody else in all the other ones have said, oh, fantastic gearbox. You know, the press ones, a fantastic gearbox. It's so neat and slicky. And it is. It is, unless I'm going from first to second. But maybe that's just because it's cold. And also, you know, I'm not a driving god. What else? How are we doing? We're still at 85%. That last 5% has taken about 15 minutes. And I'm bored silly with it. Oh, the other thing I did, was I swapped the wheels. I've got winter tyres on. I've got a set of rotor slipstreams, which are about 650 quid. And the only reason I mentioned the price of the wheels is that each of the standard ones that come on this, they're 17-inch forged BBS rims of a unique design, limited production numbers, blah 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 blah. As I'm sure you can imagine, they come in at about £1,600 each. Yeah. And that's a bit steep, I feel. So these slipstreams, I like them so much on the car that after the winter they're going to have to get refurbed, because there was a bit of an accident with a fallen over road sign when we were at Race of Remembrance. And yeah, Mr. Clews heard some interesting language being used, and at some point they will actually be able to find the sign. And I'm not really a get angry and throw stuff person, but that one got me. And so yeah, I think they're going to get refurbed, just to tidy those scuffs up, and they're going to end up being my summer wheels, and then I will have to do something else with the other one. Hang on a minute. It's been updated. Please remove the USB device to restart the system. USB device released. Oh, here we go. This may have done it. So yeah, the other thing are parts prices in general. I just had a service done at an independent garage. I went and visited my local Toyota dealer, but I wasn't hugely enamored with them. So I used my local trusted Porsche and performance car specialist who look after that one, and who look after other cars and friends' cars as well. So it went there for its first service instead. But parts prices can be expensive. Someone duffed the front of theirs lately on track, and the cost of the oil return lines, they were like £700 each. It's like the alloy thing, the price of the alloys. It's what you get for buying a limited production performance car. Despite the fact it says Toyota on the front and Yaris on the back, it is still a limited production car, and you've got to expect these things. And I went into it eyes wide open from that point of view. So I'm not really complaining. I mean, basically, I just don't want anyone else to crash them. Least of all me, because I don't want my insurance to go up. Not that it's bad. I'm, you know, yeah, single bloke, 40s, business miles, etc., and it's still 300 and something pounds, but I'm old. That's the best I can come up with. This thing has not reset yet. Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of it. I'm sort of out of things to say. There will be a proper video at some point. It is an awesome little car to drive, a real roller skate. And that limited slip front diff is hilarious. It just, whereas, for example, Johnny the Yaris will wash out and understeer away from an apex if you go in too hard. This does the opposite. As long as you're still accelerating, it will drag you towards the apex, and it goes like stink. There are very few cars that will be quicker point to point. Partly because of its size, and I found that earlier in the year when I was driving I had a Subaru WRX for a week. Of course, took it on all the same roads. I take this one on because Subaru WRX. And yeah, it just felt too big, too unwieldy whenever you're used to something as small as this. So that limited slip diff, I mean, really, you didn't need four-wheel drive in that situation. That really is it this time. Everything seems to have finished. I quite fancy going to get myself some dinner because we have a podcast to record tonight. And as long as Mr. Clews hasn't forgotten. He hasn't. I know he hasn't because he's been pinging stuff into the lineup. But yes, I said this was in the hub nut styly. I'm not going to do the swoosh at the end, but I shall just leave it there. Thank you for watching, if you have been. Don't forget, we have a weekly audio podcast, the Motoring Podcast, available on all your podcast playing platforms, and also on our website at motoringpodcast.com. That's my YouTubist bit done. Don't forget to like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Have a really good Christmas and New Year. Take care.